All right, my observations from Minnesota versus OKC game 1 is Minnesota shot too many threes. 61.5% of their total shots were three-pointers. Do you know anyone on Minnesota's team that justifies them shooting at a 61.5% of your total field goal attempts, shooting at that clip? Does it make sense for them to shoot three-pointers at that clip? Is there one player on their team that justifies them shooting three-pointers at that rate? No. The answer is no. I thought going into the series, Minnesota would win because they have more men on their team. Because they would beat Oklahoma City up in the post, on the rebounds, on the offensive glass. Right? Let me tell you something. If after that break that Minnesota had, and given all the preparation they had going into the series with Oklahoma City, they had, 5-6 days off? It felt like a week. If their preparation led to them playing that way, Minnesota's going to lose a series. They don't have a chance. That's not where their strength is against Oklahoma City. That's not where their strength is against anyone. If Minnesota were to play 80% of the teams in the playoffs and shoot three-pointers at a 62% clip of their total field goal attempts, they would lose. And it's real easy for people to say, oh, well, if they made them, they win. Yeah, no shit. It's not saying anything at all, right? Three-pointers defend themselves, right? Please go back and look at my video entitled Three-Pointers Defend Themselves. If you shoot 100 layups and they're wide open, how many do you expect to be made from an NBA caliber player? You expect 100% of them to be made. If you shoot 100 free throws, right? Free throws are wide open. They're free. You shoot 100 free throws, you expect any particular NBA player on average to shoot 75 to 85%. When you're shooting a three-pointer, I don't give a shit if they're good shots or not. When you're shooting a three-pointer, the best you could expect is 45 to 55%. That's the best you could expect. The best you could expect. So in the first half, when those three-pointers were dropping at a higher clip, Minnesota was up by 4 points at the end of the first half? As the game went on and the averages averaged, right? When the averages did what averages do, game was over. It's a blowout. No team should shoot more than 35 to 45. No team should shoot more than 30 to 45% of their shots be total threes. Right? In Minnesota's case, it's worse. It was just worse. Because whatever preparation you made for Oklahoma City, if shooting 61% of your total field goal attempts as three-pointers was a part of your plan, you're done. Series is over. So I really look forward to see if they make adjustments. If that was what their plan was. Look, Oklahoma City is a very good team. They aren't that good. They're just not. They're that good to a stupid-ass team. To a team who thinks that they could... To any team that shoots three-pointers at the clip that the Golden State Warriors did in their heyday, you're done. You shoot 61% of your shots as threes, you better have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant on your team. You better. Does Minnesota have anything comparable to that? No, they don't. And the second game, the game tonight, is going to be the one that indicates where this series is going. Because if that was Minnesota's game plan, wrap it up. It's going to be a very boring series. And furthermore, it's not going to be indicative of how good Oklahoma City is. No one's really going to know. And when I say no one's going to know how good Oklahoma City is, for whatever they did in the regular season, the playoffs are something different. And I don't think that Denver was the true test because, again, I caught flack for this, but I don't think Nikola Jokic is the player many people think he is, right? He is on offense, but I'm talking about a straight up defensive lockdown defender, and Minnesota has a better capability of doing that. And if they ever choose to do that and choose to play that type of game, you got a different series, right? You know, the other thing is this: when you shoot threes at that clip, once you go cold and once you need to come out of that style of game, it's not easy to do. And these teams, it's like they don't understand that you have to play in a system. When you shoot threes at that clip, there is no system. You have to play in a system and enforce your system. And if threes come out of that, out of the system that you're playing, you're good. That's fine. But when you shoot 61% of your total field goal attempts as threes, you are not in a system. You're in a lazy, you think you're hot, chuck them up, see what happens. That's not a system, right? So in the first half, when Minnesota was hitting more threes than they were in the second half, everything looked okay. In the second half, when those threes stopped falling and they needed to go to a different style of game, they couldn't do it. Because it's like I always say, right? It's 2024, December 31st. On January 2nd or 3rd, when you have to write down a date, what are the chances you put 2024? What are the chances somebody corrupts you and says, oh, you put the wrong date down? Or what are the chances that you correct yourself? Right? Because you've been in a way of thinking for a whole freaking year. Well, a game is not a year. A game is 48 minutes. But the notion is, the point is that you have to deprogram yourself from the way you've been playing all game. And it's not so easy to deprogram yourself from the way you've been playing all game. So I always say this about Luka Doncic, when he shoots threes, right, to start the game out, he often starts out hot as hell. And it's hard to tell a player, hey man, we don't want you to start out hot as hell. We want you to start out a little bit cooler, bring it down a notch, right? That's a hard thing to understand. That's a hard thing to tell someone. But what I know is that when he starts out shooting hot as hell like that, the rest of the team is standing around watching. And he is not going to finish the game shooting that hot. If he starts out the first quarter, he'll often have 15, 20 points in the first quarter. What are the chances he ends a game with 60 or 80 points? It's not going to happen. I've never seen him finish a game as a Laker with 60 to 80 points when he starts out a game like that. Why? Because that's not the way the game works. So when he cools down, no one else is ready. No one else has been incorporated into what's going on, right? It's been a one-man show, and now you want to deprogram the team from that one-man show into a team-oriented offense. It takes a minute. It just doesn't work that way. It never happens that cleanly. And that's what's going to happen to Minnesota if they come out and shoot that volume of three-pointers. The transition from that, when those shots stop falling, is going to be hard as hell. And you only got 48 minutes. You got a finite amount of time. So if they come out in game 2, you'll know early. If they come out in game 2 and shoot threes at that clip, hang it up. Ain't going to work. Not against a very good team like Oklahoma City. It will not work. Right? Furthermore, you're not exploiting your advantages. Your advantage is that Julius Randle is strong as an ox, fast as a cat, and super physical against I can't think of his name. 7'2" young kid. Can't think of his name right now. But he should be eating that dude up. When he's standing out there shooting threes, he's not down in the post. He's not available to get offensive rebounds. He's not available to get layups. putbacks, be fed, spoon fed. He's not available for any of that. Julius Randle's game is not at the 3-point line. You know, they happen to be falling for him, but those numbers ain't gonna last. He shot 5 for 6 or some shit from 3. Ain't gonna last. So if Minnesota doesn't take advantage of their natural advantages and they play a game of who could get up the most threes, it's done. Series is over with. So that's going to be the most important thing to watch for tonight. Does Minnesota make adjustments? I don't think Oklahoma City really has to do anything. It's on Minnesota to make this series different. And if they shoot threes at that clip, series will not be different. You're going to see a repeat of what happened first game, and it's going to be even worse. So anyway, that's my observations from Minnesota, Oklahoma City, game 1. I'll see you next time.